here we go. Zombieland 2. That's all that's left. Right?
Yeah. Why don't they do that anymore?
What do you mean?
Why don't they just call it Zombieland 2? They gotta call it Zombieland Double Tap.
It's a good point. I might just write Zombieland 2, though. If that's okay with everybody. Because way more letters, and like I've already explained, this marker is pretty fucked. But yeah, I'm really good at... I wonder if Dylan has any more of these. Dylan! Zombieland. Okay, yeah, but I didn't hate this as far as sequels go. Also, we haven't talked about this yet. How is your picture placement? Is this acceptable? There you are with me.
Oh, great.
Okay, we didn't talk about that yet. Zombieland. But yeah, no, it's... And I haven't seen the first one in so long. So, I don't really know. I might have missed some shit. Like, is the Emma Stone's sister, is she in that same actor and everything in the first one? Do you know?
Yeah.
Okay, because yeah, I didn't even remember that. I was like, I don't even remember her character. That's how little I remember the first one. But obviously I remember Emma Stone, I remember Jesse, and I remember Woody Harrelson. But you know, they're the main... She's like the sidiest of the characters, I'd say. So that's fair.
She was a love interest, bro.
I think oh shit, should I just use a Sharpie? This is the last one. It's not working that well. I might just use a Sharpie and clean it later. Because there are ways.
Production, man.
I'm gonna do it. There's a Sharpie over here. But I gotta write it right the first time. And yeah, I'll just clean it later. Because it's been proven that it's possible. Like you said, alcohol sanitizer, but you can also use vinegar. But I think it might be easier with sanitizer. But I used vinegar last time.
Do you have isopropyl alcohol?
I think so. Like sanitizer? Like liquid?
Yeah, like if you have like rubbing alcohol.
Yeah, I think so. We'll have like alcohol.
That would work.
We'll have alcohol sanitizer anyway. But anyway, I'm using a Sharpie on this whiteboard. Lord forgive me. Here we go.
Just don't misspell it.
Right? I'm so nervous right now. Okay. So, well, at least it's writing well. That's the good part.
They tend to do that.
Yeah. And I remember because I did this before by accident, where I wrote it with Sharpie, and then I was like, oh shit. But it was also the last movie that time, so it worked out. Zombieland 2. Yeah, that's okay. Yeah, this is the last one, and good thing, because I'm using a real Sharpie. Okay. And that's gonna be close enough. Zombieland 2. Okay, what's up, guys? Thank you so much, everyone, for putting up with my shit through the stream. It's been treacherous at times. We're here. We got one more movie, and then we'll do some music. Let's talk about Zombieland Double Tap, also known as Zombieland 2. So, yeah, it starts off similar to the first one, but not really, I guess, because they start off at the White House, so I guess it is quite a bit different. But that's one of my main problems with this movie, is that it's very, very similar to the first one, but, you know, that's to be expected with sequels, I guess. And, like, the level of sequel, I would put this, like, roughly Anchorman 2-ish. Way better than Zoolander. Way better than Zoolander 2. Yeah, I don't know. I thought Anchorman 2 was...
I thought Anchorman 2 was horrible.
Oh, you thought it was bad? I thought it was alright. I thought it was at least a little bit fun, and I thought this was alright too.
I thought this was fun.
But Zoolander 2 was my least favorite out of the new sequels that I've seen.
I'm not gonna see that, I don't think.
It's so bad, Garrison. It's so bad.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's like 2 hours. It's like way too long. It's not funny. They don't have the actor that played Derek Zoolander's love interest in the first movie. They replace her with Penelope Cruz, which I like Penelope Cruz, but it's like just throwing her in there. Anyway, we're not talking about Zoolander 2. We're talking about Zombieland 2, and I kind of like this. Yeah. Oh my god, am I frozen? Uh-oh.
You're working for me.
Oh, that's good. Okay, I fixed mine now. We're back. Even if we never left. I'm gonna look it up on Wikipedia here. Zombieland. Double tap. Oh, another thing. I would have liked, and I already complained sort of about that it's too similar, but there's one thing that I would have liked them to have a callback to the original. They didn't have a callback at all, which I thought was weird, to Twinkies and shit. Because I remember that being a big part of the first one. Where
it was just because they came across a hostess truck.
But
so they didn't come across anything specific. You wanted something that Woody Harrelson was going after, or what?
Well, that to me that was like one of his character traits, that he liked Twinkies to me. So that I thought that they would include that, at least a little bit, or at least mention it. Like, man, I wish I could go for a Twinkie, but they're all gone, or something, you know.
They should have definitely had a little callback to it, honestly.
Because that's like one of the main things I remember from the first movie.
I would have laughed if you mentioned something about a Twinkie with that gleam in his eye, you know.
This time, like, what took place of the Twinkies to me is like cars, nice cars in this movie. Because the whole movie he's like, oh, we've got to fucking drive in a minivan. It's fucking shitty. I want to fucking drive in a Corvette or whatever, and something nice. And I feel like that's like his Twinkie in this movie.
Pretty much.
So it's like a similar idea, but it's not Twinkies. So there's my note. Where the Twinkies at?
He's got a hankering for a nice vehicle instead.
Yeah, I guess so, and that's fine, I guess. I don't know. I like the Twinkies. Anyway, but we'll go a little more deep into other elements of this movie. Let's talk about the plot. So I talked about how it starts off in the White House, and they talk about how they're gonna like start just living there, and I thought that was cool, and I thought that they should have just maybe kept with that longer than they did, because they're pretty quick on the road. In the movie, that they're not in the White House that long. They get on the road pretty quick, and that's like the first movie. So it's just like, what if they stayed in the White House, and shit happened to, like, zombies came to them, and they had to deal with like living in one place. I don't know. They could have made it interesting. They could have made it. People could have found them, and they could have been. I don't know. I feel like they could have just brought the direction of the story into a different place, because it's just a little bit too much like the first one, but. You know, that's to be expected with sequels. That's the way it goes a lot of the time, if not at least most of the time. But yeah, Woody Harrelson, Jesse Eisenberg, they get left at the White House because, okay, let's talk about this, because this is a problem I got with this. Jesse Eisenberg proposes to Emma Stone's character, and she's like, you know, the classic, I don't know if I want to get married, which is fair. But yeah, and then she leaves. And there's a point, and this is what I have a problem with. There's a point where Emma Stone apologizes for not wanting to get married and just leaving. But I don't think she should have apologized. I think she was fully in her right to be like, you know what, I'm not ready for this. Why do we need to get married? It's a fucking zombie apocalypse. Can't we just be with each other? I think she had some good points. But the narrative of the movie was sort of just like, no, Jesse's right, they're fucking getting married. And I kind of was like, it would have been cool if they just didn't. You know, and just accepted, you know, we love each other, but we don't fucking need to get married. It's not important. Anyway, do you have any feelings on that at all? Maybe not.
Yeah, she probably didn't need to apologize, but, yeah, like, why are you proposing, dude? There's fucking zombies walking around.
Yeah, it just doesn't matter. Like, I totally get every, like, thing she was saying. It's like, why? But anyway, that was just sort of a little thing, though. But yeah, the reason the Emma Stone's sister wants to leave is because she wants to fuck, basically. She wants to find somebody, and they find, like some hippie called. Is he called Berkeley or he's from Berkeley or both? Everyone is called where they're from.
You.
Everyone is called where you're from now. That's the thing, right? So he's Berkeley, I guess. And there's some funny moments with him because he's playing a super pretentious poser hippie, and he's playing guitar, and he's playing a song by Bob Dylan, and he's saying that he wrote it, and he's playing Freebird, and he says that he wrote it. So it's just showing how much of a poser douchebag this guy is. Some of that's funny. Oh, and we gotta talk about the character that Jesse Eisenberg bangs, like immediately, almost upon meeting. The blonde girl they meet in the freezer. Madison. Right. And is she named after a place? Because Madison is a place. But
she's the only one with the name.
Okay, she's the only one with the regular name. Okay, that makes sense. But yeah, this is after Emma Stone has abandoned Woody Harrelson and Jesse Eisenberg or whatever, and they're in a mall, and Jesse Eisenberg finds this Madison, and she is obviously coming on him, and they end up banging, and then Emma Stone, of course, finds out about it, and they all end up traveling together, and there's some awkward moments, but it's kind of funny, and she has some pretty funny lines that I laughed at. She's playing this Madison character. She's playing the very obvious, like, Valley Girl, let's just use the term, even though I don't necessarily agree with it, bimbo, blonde type of character. But yeah, there's some funny lines with her. Like, there's a tour bus that they want to get a hold of. They want to get on the tour bus. So she says something about, like, oh yeah, I used to party with 3 Doors Down or something like that. That made me laugh because 3 Doors Down is kind of a joke. They were the inauguration band for Trump. They were the only band that seemingly wanted to do it. Anyway, I appreciate a minor dig at 3 Doors Down. So I like that line. And yeah, this is sort of mild spoilers, but I want to talk about it. And this is like mid-movie, maybe even before, a little bit mid-movie. We see Madison, there's a zombie that like grabs her leg, and you think maybe she got bit, but I'm pretty sure I remember looking at it and being like, she didn't get bit. So there's a point where it's like, oh, she's sick, she's becoming a zombie, because I guess when you become a zombie in this world, you start puking and like looking like you're sick. And so that's what happens. So they take her into the woods, or so we think. Jesse kills her because she turned into a zombie. We find out later he shot up above her head so she would run away, and we find out that she actually was not turning into a zombie, but she was actually just had a nut allergy and she had eaten some trail mix. So why am I talking about this? Because there's a whole chunk where they don't have her in the movie, and I actually liked her as a character. I thought that she would have had some laughs. She would have been in a little longer. And a little more of the fun, like, tension between Jesse Eisenberg and Emma Stone, because she adds to that. And, yeah. And there's a part with Luke Wilson and the guy from Silicon Valley. There's some names in this movie. But yeah, I would have liked a little more time with the Madison character. I thought she was kind of funny. Thoughts about her? What do you think? Well, am I wrong?
No, I liked her. I thought she had some of the better scenes from the movie. Like, when she first meets, when they first get in the van, and then Emma Stone's talking shit, and then Jesse Eisenberg's like, hey, Madison, when you first met me, did you point a gun at me and steal my car? And she's like, no, I told you you're smart, and then I had sex with you. And then he's like, that's right.
No,
and he's just smiling.
Yeah.
Like, that was a good scene.
Yeah, because...
I mean, I agree, she could have been in it longer. I thought they were going to catch on that it's an allergic reaction sooner, because, like, I thought it was pretty obvious with the tongue swelling up and whatnot. But
well, that's what I thought, too.
Sense at all.
Yeah, and I sort of thought that right away, too. I was like, oh, she's probably not becoming a zombie. Like, there was that point where the zombie on her foot, but I don't think that she bit her. No. But then I do, but I guess that was like the exact same symptoms as becoming a zombie. So it seems. So it kind of makes sense that they would think that. But yeah, I kind of agree that because she was even trying to say it. She was trying to say it too. She was like trying to be like, I got a fucking nut allergy or something. But they sort of just were talking over her. I think that's how I remember it anyway.
Yeah.
And yeah, but I guess we find out later he didn't kill her obviously, and she's fine. But whole big chunk without her. Little bit at the end, little bit at the beginning with her. Not that long, really. And it's so obvious, and I kind of felt that they were gonna do it, but I'm still glad they did it. That they have this dickhead Berkeley, stoner, pretentious boy, and you got this Madison character, and I had a feeling they were gonna put them together, and they did at the end. I had a feeling. Spoilers, I guess, sort of, but that's such a minor thing. It's not that big a deal, I don't think. But yeah, gotta talk about the different kinds of zombies, because that's another thing that's sort of different about this movie. I do appreciate that they start that off right away. They're like, there's been some differences. So it does sort of start off like the first movie. Because the first movie starts off with him being like, you gotta be fast, you gotta watch out. And this one's like, look at all the new kinds of zombies now. Look at and it's interesting because the first one they show, they say evolve. And the first one is just a really dumb zombie they call Homers. Because we're assuming Homer Simpson, they even have the Homer font with the donut as the O when they show the Homer zombie labeled on the movie. But yeah, I guess they're just sort of dumb and they don't think about killing as much. They just like get distracted or whatever. So we don't worry about they're just sort of there for jokes, I guess. And then there's the other two that are evolved. They're the one that's they call it a Hawking, and they're like Stephen Hawking, so they're smart. They can like maybe they show one like taking out somebody's eyeball and using it in a scanner to get through a door and shit like that. And then later they show one called T-800s that are like just take a lot of shots to kill and are fucking just really hard to kill, like a T-800. So it makes enough sense. And then there's one other kind. Oh yeah, Ninja. They are just like silent but deadly. They say they like sneak under a bush or whatever. They kill you without you knowing it, or is sort of the idea. So yeah, I thought that was cool that they at least tried to add something a little bit different, and it's somewhat realistic, at least in the zombie apocalypse world, that maybe they would evolve. We know how viruses evolve now, obviously, with all these fucking COVID-19 variants, so it seems to make sense enough, anyway. You have anything to say about that, G-Bergs?
Yeah, I mean, I didn't focus on that part too much, but yeah, it was okay. I mean, having different kinds of zombies, I didn't really get it. Like, it's not a TV show, so we're not gonna get a bunch of different kills with these different zombies. So I thought maybe they spent too much time on it, if anything.
Okay, I see what you're saying there, but that made me think of something else. I get it, it's kind of cool, and like they show like the fun side of the zombie world, I guess, but it don't get how they're getting this footage and how everyone knows about the zombie of the kill of the year and the zombie kill of the week. It doesn't make any sense. How we know? How is everyone knowing about this? Explain? Is it like what? Is there a zombie TV show? Are people getting this on their phones? Like, I don't know.
I don't get it.
It doesn't make any sense. But yeah, no, I like the zombie evolving thing because it just makes enough sense to me that it would happen with the evolving of the virus. But yeah, like you said, it's not a TV show, but you still see enough of it, and it does add something different to it, even though it's one whole movie. I don't know. I think it works for at least a little bit. They could have done a little, like I said, the main thing that they could have done, in my opinion, to make it more standalone, is to have them stay at the White House or stay in one spot and try to set up a home. And that could have been the plot in some way, I think. But they turned it into another road movie. Anyway, I'm running out of shit to say. You got any more shit to say, bud?
Yeah, I don't know. I enjoyed it. I thought it was a fun time. It's kind of like a popcorn, bubblegum type movie.
Bubblegum movie, baby. Give me a whole big barrel. Give me a bowl of bubblegum.
Think about it.
Gum, gum,
Yeah,
gum,
you're
gum.
not supposed to think about it too much.
Yeah, no, exactly. I liked it though. Like generally.
Yeah, I thought the plot was okay. Like, I thought it was. I actually kind of disagree with you that it was really similar to the first one. Yeah, like the vibe and everything was very similar.
It was similar-ish. There were differences for sure.
It was, yeah, but like the whole her running away with the dude, like it was kind of cliche, but it wasn't.
It was like a little different. Okay, and also remember I haven't seen the first one for a while, but from what I remember, it seems very similar. And just like the road
they don't
aspect.
Know they're gonna run into any girls.
Right, in the first one. Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, and the first one's more than meeting, I guess. But yeah, no.
Yeah, for sure.
The second one though, yeah, no, it wasn't bad. But yeah, no, I thought this was okay. Like, are you ready to rate it?
I think so, yeah.
Okay, let's do it. I got my Sharpie here. We're gonna clean this later. Here we go. I'm gonna fix this too. So, right. Yeah, I'm going straight 7, and I can't change this rating, so it's staying at 7.
Nice.
That's how I feel. What'd you give it? 6.5? Pretty similar.
Yeah. I was thinking 7 too, but the more I thought about it, I'm like, yeah. Like, it could have been a lot better, I think.
Alright. Well, that does it for movie reviews.